The 1998 Major League Baseball home run chase was the race between first baseman Mark McGwire of the St. Louis Cardinals and right fielder Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs that resulted in McGwire and Sosa breaking Roger Maris's long-standing and highly coveted record of 61 home runs. McGwire broke Maris's record on September 8 against the Cubs and finished with 70 home runs. Sosa finished with 66. Several players had come close to breaking Maris's record in the years before 1998. Before the '94 season was cut short by a labor dispute, Matt Williams of the San Francisco Giants and Ken Griffey Jr. of the Seattle Mariners were both on the pace which threatened Maris's record. They hit 43 and 40 home runs respectively in the season, which was shortened by approximately 50 of the scheduled 162 games. In '95, Albert Bell became the first player since Cecil Fielder in 1990 to hit 50 home runs in the season. Bell was only the fourth player in the previous 3 decades to reach the 50 home run milestone. George Foster hit 52 in '77, following Willie Mays in '65. In '96, Brady Anderson of the Baltimore Orioles hit 50 home runs, twice the number he hit during any other season. Of more note was Mark McGwire of the Oakland Athletics, who first drew attention by hitting a league-leading 52 home runs that season while only playing in 130 games. The '97 home run chase featured McGwire and Griffey, but neither reached it that year. It was during that season that full-fledged interest over the record kicked in, as both players were on record pace well into the summer. McGwire finished the '97 season with 58 home runs following his mid-season trade to the St. Louis Cardinals, besting Griffey's total of 56 that year. Speculation on the potential of McGwire or Griffey breaking Roger Maris' home run record was a popular story heading into spring training, and was even promoted by MLB itself, in an effort to draw fans back to the game who felt disenfranchised by the '94 strike and cancellation of the World Series. With the spotlight still on Griffey and McGwire entering his first full season as a Cardinal, the latter opened the '98 season by hitting home runs in each of his first 4 games. McGwire would ultimately find himself ahead of record pace for all but 2 games of the season. His pace hit a low of 58.9 on May 7 following a 5-game drought. After hitting 16 home runs in May, only 2 short of Rudy York's ill-fated record of 18 home runs in August of 1937, McGwire led the league with 27 home runs, ahead of Griffey's 19 and on pace for more than 80. June, however, would be Sosa's month to catch up. His 13 home runs entering the month represented less than half of rival McGwire's total. Sosa had his first of 4 multi-home run games that month on June 1st, and went on to break Rudy York's record with 20 home runs in the month of June, a record that still stands. By the end of his historic month, the outfielder's 33 home runs tied him with Griffey and left him only 4 behind McGwire's 37. The 3 remained competitive entering August, a period which saw McGwire go on the season-high 8-game home run drought. After hitting a home run on August 8, McGwire's lead had dwindled to 2, his 46 home runs just above Sosa's 44 and Griffey's 41. His relative lull in production continued, hitting only 3 home runs over the next 10 days. His pace at the end of August 18, 61.9, would be his lowest for the rest of the season. On August 19, he returned to form, hitting 2 home runs and beginning the stretch that would see him hit 23 home runs in his final 39 games. Sosa, meanwhile, had followed up his 20 home runs in June with a combined total of only 22 for July and August. At the end of the month, however, the 2 sluggers were locked at 55 home runs, putting them on pace for about 65 in total and, for the first time in 37 years, leaving the single-season home run record in imminent jeopardy. They were also each 1 short of Hack Wilson's National League record. By this point, Griffey's total of 47 home runs left him well behind the pace of his 2 rivals, indicating that even in the event he could pass Maris's total, it would be unlikely that he would also be able to beat McGwire and Sosa. Griffey would finish the season with 56 home runs, matching his total from the previous season but still 5 home runs short of Maris' record. McGwire began September with 4 home runs in his first 2 games against the Florida Marlins and took back a lead, 59 to Sosa's 56. His September 5th home run set the stage for one of baseball's classic moments, as he sat on 60 home runs entering a two-game set against Sosa's Chicago Cubs. On September 7th, McGwire hit a Mike Morgan pitch 430 feet to become the first player since '61 to hit 61 home runs in the season. The next day, September 1998, in a game against Sosa's Cubs and with members of the Maris family in attendance, he hit Steve Traxell's pitch 341 feet, his shortest home run of the season, just over the left field wall, breaking the record for the most home runs ever hit in a single season. The ball did not even make it to the stands, and the crew member who found it later gave the ball to McGwire. In what was a show of both admiration as well as respect, Mark Grace, the Cubs first baseman, shared a half-hug high-five as McGwire rounded first, and after he touched home, Sosa charged in from right field and engaged McGwire in a celebratory embrace. Afterwards, however, McGwire went 6 consecutive games without a home run, allowing Sosa to tie him again at 62 after hitting 4 home runs in 3 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. The two battled back and forth for the lead, and entering the final series of the season on September 25th, were tied at 65 home runs. Sosa hit a 462-foot home run off Houston Astros pitcher Joe Lima for his 66th home run of the season. McGwire, however, would hit 5 home runs against 5 different pitchers during a Cardinals homestand against the Montreal Expos, and would set the single-season MLB home run record at 70 with a 370-foot home run off Carl Pavano. The Cardinals, despite McGwire's efforts, finished the season 83-79, third place in the Central and behind division rival Chicago, who finished 90-73, earning them second in the Central and a wild card berth. Sosa finished with a .308 batting average, 66 home runs, and 158 RBI, besting McGwire, who finished with a .299 batting average, 70 home runs, and 147 RBI for the NL MVP award. The Cubs, however, were swept in the first round of the '98 playoffs by the Atlanta Braves. In 2001, only 3 years after McGwire and Sosa finally toppled Maris's record, the mark fell again, this time to San Francisco Giants left fielder Barry Bonds. Bonds broke the record on October 5th against Chan Ho Park of the Los Angeles Dodgers and, 2 days later, hit his 73rd home run of the season off the Dodgers pitcher Dennis Springer. Bonds' record continues to stand today. The 97 and 98 home run record chases are widely credited by sports analysts as having restored Major League Baseball among its fan base in the preceding years, as many had lost interest and felt betrayed by the strike in 1994, although others contest this. The Sosa-McGwire home run chase occurred during the steroid era. Bonds' record still stands, though the controversy over possible use of performance-enhancing drugs by McGwire and Sosa gained momentum when Bonds hit his 73rd home runs despite having never hit as many as 50 in any other season. In the congressional hearing on steroids, McGwire stated that any answer he gave regarding his alleged steroid use would not be believed by the public at large anyway. Sosa seemed to not understand the questions. Bonds has also been linked to steroids. He admitted to taking them, but he claims that he did not know what he was taking was steroids. Bonds and Sosa have been linked to illegal use of steroids in the Mitchell Report and other sources. McGwire has never been named by any official investigation. However, on January 11, 2010, McGwire admitted to Bob Costas of the MLB network that he did take steroids throughout his career, including during the 1998 season where he broke the record.